onto the subjects of wood and woodworking and what to look for. You will find two types of wood when you go to the store. You will find, like at Lowe's, you will find wood that has been kiln dried, or you can go to your lumber yard and find wood that has been air dried. I've set up several pieces of wood here as an example. Wood that is air dried, you'll have to have planed. You have to have it where they take. You'll get it probably about an inch thick. You want to take it down to about 3/4, depending on what you're using. One of the woods you will not find is this here, which is African Sapele wood, Cadillac. Bragg said they use this in their gear shifters. Very expensive wood. With Sapele, you can get into carving and make things like this. And it's almost like carving marble. Very strong. Very superior wood, but way out of my price range. This is an example of things to look for in wood. You will find, and this looks like walnut, but it's actually cedar. You look for things in wood, you want to look at the grain. You want to consider what you're making. Now, if I'm making something like the heart basket, and now it's going to have a flat bottom and curve up. So I want to look at the grain. I want to see, okay, if I cut this way, what is it? What am I going to catch? I'm going to catch this highlight, that highlight. I'm going to catch this. I have to watch out for knots because you don't want anything that's a knot. You want to look at the side of the board. You want to look and see, especially at Lowe's, because even though it's kiln dried, you can still have it where it cracks in the wood. You don't want that. Cracks in the wood are a bad thing. You're going to end up working halfway through a project, you'd finish with it, say, look what I made, and it's going to snap apart and bust in a million pieces, and you're going to be very disappointed. This right here is poplar. Poplar can be anywhere from green to black. Very beautiful wood. Poplar is a very durable wood. If you want an all-around good wood to work with, use poplar. It's about the cheapest, and you'll find at Lowe's, you'll find poplar, you'll find oak, you'll find pine. Nothing all that great, but if you're at Lowe's, you want something to work with, poplar is probably your best bet for what you're going to be able to find. Next of all, you have oak. Oak is white oak, red oak. This is kiln dried, and this here is air dried. Oak is a very tough wood. It's a very hard wood to work with. It's a very beautiful wood, but the grain's very thick on it, as you can see. Grain is very susceptible to water damage too. If I were to get this board wet, leave it outside all night, come around, both ends of this board would be meeting. It would warp that bad. If you're using anything that you want to last, that you have to worry about water damage, you do not want to use oak. I'm not fond of oak. It'll actually wear out the blades of your saw. It's that bad. Now here is a wood that I have right here. It's very rare, very extremely rare. I have an old gun that's made out of this. This is tiger maple. It has a holographic maple effect, tiger stripe on it. You can see it here. Very extremely expensive wood. They use it for making violins, if you can find it. It's a mutation in the wood that actually causes that. Probably my favorite wood to work with, but finding it is almost impossible. Like this walnut here, I'd love to use curly maple and walnut. If I had my two choices, actually three, I'd go with those two and this here, which is an amazing board. It's a piece of wild cherry. I've made many baskets out of this. I made a basket for Nikki's wedding actually out of this very board. You can't say enough about cherry. Cherry is a type of wood that when you cut it, it has its own smell, its own feel. And the only way you're really going to learn all these pieces of wood and types of wood and what you can do with them, what you can't do with them, is to work with them and find out really for yourself. They each have their own idiosyncrasies. They each have things that are good and bad about them. But these hardwoods like cherry, walnut, maple, and poplar are probably your best bet if you want something that is going to be an all-around good wood.